What do feral people, missing hikers, metal aliens, and a haunted playground have in common? No, it's not the world's worst family reunion. It's Alabama. Here are the stories of strange vanishings, government secrets, creepy legends, and a state with more unexplained phenomena per capita than it has Waffle House fights. Welcome to a special conspiracy deep dive into the missing 411 phenomenon, Southern Edition. Lucas Bennett was a 32-year-old ex-Marine, fitness vlogger, and amateur survivalist from Huntsville, Alabama. He was known online for his series Solo Survival Saturdays, where he'd test his limits in remote wilderness areas. In October 2018, Lucas decided to hike through the Appalachian Mountains and is known for being the highest natural point in Alabama, Mount Cheaha. The park spans across Cleburne and Clay counties. He checked in with park rangers before starting his 4-day solo hike. He had a satellite phone, a GoPro, 3 cameras, a high-end backpacking kit, and the kind of cocky confidence that makes horror movie fans yell, "Don't go in there." Spoiler alert, he went in there. Search and rescue efforts kicked off in earnest 48 hours later. The first team found his backpack upright by a stream. It was zipped completely shut. Despite the fact it was quite close to the water, the backpack was dry and sitting upright like someone had carefully placed it there for a catalog photo. His camera was still in the side pouch, fully charged. There were no drag marks, no blood, no animal activity, not even footprints leading in or out, despite the soil being soft from a recent rain. Tracker dogs were brought in, but weirdly, they refused to track. Lucas's last GoPro footage showed him setting up camp near the stream and making a fire. He spoke briefly about feeling watched, but kind of laughed it off. Superstitious locals insist that the Cleburne area is one of those thin places where reality's veil gets a little sheer. It's rumored that even some rangers avoid this area after dark. Was it aliens? A hidden underground base? Feral humans? Or did Lucas walk into something he shouldn't have? His body was never found. Emily Ray Hawkins was a 22-year-old college student from Birmingham, Alabama, majoring in environmental science. She was described by friends as curious, adventurous, and deeply interested in forest ecology. Her weekend trip to Cheaha State Park felt like her dream getaway. In June 2015, she and 2 classmates set up camp near McDill Point. That night, just after dinner, Emily left the fire circle to use the bathroom in the woods alone. She forgot the cardinal rule that women always go to the bathroom in pairs, so unfortunately, Emily never returned. A full search and rescue operation launched by Sunrise included thermal drones, dogs, and even volunteers from 3 counties. But nothing. Not a footprint. Not a dropped item. Not even a broken branch. On the 4th day, her jacket and one of her boots were discovered nearly 5 miles from the campsite. Her jacket was folded neatly at the base of a cedar tree in terrain described as nearly inaccessible. Strangely, her phone was found perched on a flat rock 20 feet above ground in a sheer rock outcrop. The phone was untouched by the elements, the battery still at an 84% charge, and no new activity after the night she disappeared. Emily's friends reported something else. Just before she left, they heard a high-pitched whine in the woods. It didn't sound natural. One of them later said. Local folklore holds that Cheaha is home to whistlers. These entities are said to lure wanderers away with tones only some people can hear. But longtime hikers and even a few park rangers say they avoid McDill Point entirely after sunset. In 2009, 3-year-old Caleb Jordan went missing near the Tallapoosa Wildlife Management Area. His parents turned their back to him for less than 60 seconds during a family picnic. In that short amount of time, little Caleb was gone. An entire rescue operation was launched. They expected the worst that the woods had to offer: bears, snakes, unforgiving terrain. The team searched relentlessly for 36 hours, and in this case, it paid off. Caleb was found alive and well, 6 miles away. He wasn't wearing his shoes, but he had no bruises and seemed unharmed. When asked what happened, the little guy explained that a nice lady held my hand and walked with me. He told police that the nice lady glowed. Locals in the area suspect he was taken by something not quite human. One elderly woman insisted she saw strange lights in the trees the same night Caleb vanished. Another hiker claimed he saw footprints made by bare, adult-sized feet near where Caleb reappeared. The search and rescue team could not corroborate this story. On a foggy October night in 1973, Falkville Police Chief Jeff Greenhaw responded to an absolutely bizarre call. It was reported that a UFO sighting had just occurred outside the small Alabama town. Greenhaw drove out to a remote field and spotted a strange humanoid figure standing in the middle of a dirt road. He described the being as metallic, covered head to toe in what looked like aluminum foil. The shiny man moved with stiff, jerky motions, seeming almost robotic. It had a featureless face, no eyes, no nose, and no mouth, just a smooth metallic sheen where a face should have been. He took 4 Polaroid photos before the figure suddenly bolted into the woods at an unnatural speed. The photos, while blurry and awkward, became infamous. They show what looks like a man in a dollar store robot costume, which led to years of mockery. Greenhaw lost his job shortly afterward, and many believed the encounter was either a hoax or a case of mistaken identity. But here's where it gets weird again. In 2014, hikers in the Bankhead National Forest claimed to see a humanoid figure quickly dart between trees. They described it as shimmering like polished chrome. The creature made no sound and left no footprints. One of the more unusual theories is that it's a government drone. There are some ufologists who believe the Metal Man was an early form of an alien exosuit, an experimental reconnaissance unit or biomechanical android. Falkville's strange visitor was never seen again officially. But if the 2014 sighting is to be believed, maybe he, or it, never left Alabama's woods at all. Wes Harper wasn't just the mayor of a sleepy little town outside Tuscaloosa. He was also a retired Army intelligence officer who had a reputation for being overly curious about local myths, especially those involving underground tunnels, government black sites, and what he referred to as geophysical anomalies in the Alabama wilderness. In early 2019, Harper vanished without a trace during what he claimed would be a weekend research retreat in the Talladega National Forest. The last known photo of him was captured by a wildlife cam. He's alone, wearing hiking gear, holding a small Geiger counter, and standing near what appears to be a collapsed cave entrance. Search efforts turned up nothing. No tent, no footprints, no gear. It was as if Wes Harper had been scooped out of existence. The Alabama Bureau of Investigation eventually labeled it an unresolved missing adult and quietly closed the case. Some said he got too close to a military testing facility buried beneath the forest. Others believe he stumbled into one of the alleged magnetic vortexes that pepper the area. A chilling twist came months later. Harper's personal notebook was found by a hiker over 20 miles from where he was last seen. The pages were mostly illegible due to water damage, but one sentence was underlined 3 times. There's something older than the forest down here, and it remembers us. To this day, no one knows exactly what this means or what happened to Mayor Harper. But if you ask the locals, they'll cryptically tell you he asked one too many questions, and something answered. The Sipsey Wilderness is a dense, haunting expanse of backcountry in northwestern Alabama. It has long been a favorite for hikers, campers, and folks who like their nature with a side of mild existential dread. It's often called the land of 1,000 waterfalls, but there's something else flowing through the forest: fear. Local lore tells of the vampire of Sipsey, a creature said to dwell in the deepest ravines and thickest underbrush of the forest. Descriptions vary wildly. Some say it looks like a skeletal man with pale gray skin and eyes that reflect light like a deer's. Others describe it more like a feral humanoid, hairless and gaunt, with elongated limbs and an awful smell, something akin to wet rust and rot, like a Yankee candle. The first known report comes from 1987, when 2 bow hunters from Cullman County reported a disturbing discovery. A fresh deer carcass, fully intact, had been completely drained of blood, though it had no visible wounds. The hunters returned the next morning to investigate further, but found their camp ransacked and the deer carcass gone. In the early 2000s, a pair of hikers went missing for 3 days. When they finally emerged from the woods, they were disoriented and dehydrated. The hikers claimed they were stalked by something that watched them from the trees. One swore he woke up in the middle of the night and saw something crouching at the edge of their camp, just silently watching. Most famously, in 2011, a YouTube user known as Trailman302 posted a video titled Something in Sipsey, which showed him frantically whispering into a camera, claiming something was circling his tent at night. The video cuts to black after a loud metallic screech. Numerous hunters have found deer and small animal carcasses completely intact. No torn flesh, no missing organs, but completely drained of blood. Others believe the Sipsey vampire is a subterranean species, like a bat-human hybrid or remnant of an ancient creature forced to the surface by logging operations. So if you're ever camping in Sipsey and you hear a twig snap behind you, your blood might soon be leaving your body. They say Alabama is God's country. But if that's true, he has a very weird sense of humor. From metal men and forest vampires to glowing ladies and missing toddlers, it's clear something strange is going on here. We don't know where these people went or what found them. But if you hear a noise in the trees, investigate at your own risk. Better yet, just pack up, head home, and hope the glowing lady or the forest vampire isn't hot on your trail. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos about missing people mysteries from the rest of our 50 beautiful states.